You.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our info session today for community engagement, leadership, and development. My name is Mishra Chaudhry, and I'm the manager of recruitment and sales for the Chang School. Now, before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the land on which Toronto Metropolitan University is built upon. Toronto is in the Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, the Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. I thank the Indigenous people of Turtle Island, for their efforts to protect the land, and I deeply regret the past injustices they have endured. As Toronto Metropolitan University seeks to move forward in partnership with Indigenous people, I pledge to foster an environment that is more inclusive and welcoming of Indigenous people from all communities. Now, I'd like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's session. Your microphone is muted throughout the event so as not to disturb other attendees or their presenters. For the hearing impaired, we have automated captioning available, which you can access by activating it in the toolbar at the bottom of your screen. You can submit questions for our speakers at any time by typing them into the question box of your control panel, and we'll collect them throughout the session and address them at the end. Now I'd like to introduce our speakers for today. First, we have Sheila Wilmot, coach instructor at the Chang School, and Roxanne Hawker Fisher, from employment and training consultant at Ministry of Labor, Immigration, Training, and Skill Development. And Roxanne is also a student of the certificate. Now, before I get started, we'd like to do a quick poll from our participants today. I'm going to put up the poll right now, and here we go. So, we wanted to know what motivated you to consider the certificate today, and we've got a few options here: career advancement, career change, skill building for current role, personal interest, and others. And then we also have a second question, which is what is your current level of familiarity with this certificate program? So we've got high, which is I am well informed about the program, moderate, basic awareness, and then low, which is I have minimal or no prior knowledge. And yeah, so looks like career advancement and skill building are one of the main reasons why people are interested today, which is very consistent with our other certificates and other sessions that we have. So yeah, we're definitely be speaking a little bit about that. And then it's great that some people have moderate and basic awareness. And it's also great that we have some people that have no prior knowledge because you really don't need to have that. So thank you for taking part in our poll today. I'm gonna end it and share the results so that everybody can take a look at it. And once again, thank you all for attending. All right, perfect. So we're gonna stop sharing the poll, and I'm gonna invite Sheila to go over a brief overview of the certificate. Sheila is a trauma-informed equity and human rights consultant as well. She's also a workshop designer and facilitator, and a course instructor here with the Chang School. Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. So we just have a few slides here in order to give you an detailed overview of the program of the CALD certificate. So we're going to look at first of all, the overview of the format, length, etc. of the courses, then industry trends. Then we'll talk about course delivery and topics, so career outcomes, learner benefits, and then how to enroll. And in here, when the where it fits, I will give some examples of projects that students do in the capstone course, which is the final course in the certificate. Okay, so um, as you can see here, it's this is the suggested pathway, and as you can see, it's a flexible path. So, first of all, it's fully online and asynchronous. What that means is you do not have to come on online at specific times of the day, or there's not times where there's classes. It's all based on module material and discussion board activities to work together to unpack the module material with just videos, podcasts, and text as well. So they're pretty dynamic modules, but fully online, so you can be in BC, you can be uh, in India, you can be wherever you're at, and be successful in the certificate. So there's 6 courses, 4 of which are required, and 2 electives. And there's 3 of those courses we usually encourage students to take first, which is the Community Engagement Foundations, Engaging Diverse Communities, and Engagement Practices. And then you have a range of electives to choose from other programs. Could be Indigenous sovereignty focus, could be food security, could be program evaluation, all kinds of different electives. But at the same time, when we say flexible path, if there's some reason why you need to take those courses, out of linear order, you can do that. Sometimes an elective comes up, when you just in your first or second term and you want to take advantage of it, and that's okay. The length is 1 to 2 years usually, 4 years maximum. And again, because it's, flexible as to how many courses you take per term and it's all online, you can really self-pace through the certificate. And you can see what it costs between 35 and $3,800, and we can discuss in a minute the financial component. Excuse me, bit of a cough. So in terms of industry trends, there's a lot of emphasis on community engagement, building networks and partnership, and doing advocacy work. And there are increasingly actually vulnerable communities which have been socially marginalized, economically marginalized for some time, and that increases in our difficult economic climate. And different sectors of social services, um, environment, healthcare, but also in private practice as well, continue to be impacted in ways that have challenged how they do the work they do. This is particularly coming out of the pandemic and moving into, as we say, the combination of hybrid. Um, the combination of remote and in person to create hybrid service delivery and adapt to difficult situations. So no matter the sector, the skills gained in this certificate are applicable to many fields. So here are some examples of career paths which you may be on or you would like to be on. Community outreach coordinator, relief harm reduction worker, community engagement coordinator, community educator, housing support worker, social housing manager, intake worker, union organizer or steward, development and community engagement consultant, and program manager. This isn't an exhaustive list, but this is a really good, solid example of the kinds of career options that are available for you once you take the certificate. So when we say more than a credential, it what part of what we mean by that, a big part of what we mean by that is what you have access to at the TMU within the TMU community uh, when you are a student. So first of all, you get personal guidance from program advisors throughout your studies. For example, we have an academic coordinator, Dr. Jenna Jandy, but you also have myself, um, because I teach the capstone course, the final project course, um, that I'm available to you as you are coming forward to that part of your certificate to help you sort out what kind of project to do and who to do it with. There's also industry connections as well as we covered it flexible online learning, and you have full academic support with that. You have a course instructor for each course, even though it's online, and the course instructor is on regularly to support you in the learning process. And you have full access to TMU resources. This includes the Co-op Career and Development Center. So, if you want to get advice on work search, if you want to get someone to review your resume or your CV, you can do that for free when you're a student. And finally, there's financial support available. There's awards and bursaries and OSOP options to fund your studies. So just before the next steps, I want to give you a couple of examples of the capstone project, which is the final course in the certificate in which you get to, choose a sector and a topic and work with the community that is a very independent project. I'm going to give you a couple examples of the projects from the previous term. A student did a research and development of a project called Customer and Service Improvement through Addressing Anti-Black Racism. Another student assessed and enhanced, looked at assessing and enhancing equity, diversity, and inclusion in community services. Another project was developing an inclusive and adaptive guide for adults with disabilities in recreation. And another example would be creating a housing survival guide. So you can see there's quite a range of projects and topics that in sectors that people pursue. So the next steps would be here's the website. You can visit and peruse the program at continuing.torontomu.ca. You can enroll. And you can connect for more information with Mashra, who's leading the session today.
Thank you so much for that really great overview, Sheila. And yeah, please join our community and you can follow us on social media as well to get updates, and feel free to email me about anything else that you need or any questions that you have. So now it's my pleasure to introduce Roxanne Hocker-Fisher, who's an employment and training consultant at Ministry of Labor, Immigration Training and Skill Development, also a student of the certificate. Roxanne has experience working with the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services, which puts her in a really unique position to provide us valuable insight into this topic. And welcome, Roxanne, and you will share a little bit about your experience in the certificate and a little bit about what you're seeing in the industry out there.
Thank you very much, Marzur. It's a pleasure being with you all here today to share with you my lived and living experience with the certificate program and how it's affecting my career journey. When I started, how I got here is I was enrolled in a social work degree program, and I took two of the community engagement, leadership, and development courses to as a elective. And while taking that, one of my professors encouraged me to enroll in the program. And I did some research and I thought, oh, this is a really good program because not, and it's going to benefit me because not only will I be graduating with a degree, I'll have a certificate as well. And it was a really good journey. I have completed the program and it's helped me immensely in terms of career. As Majrur mentioned, I did work with the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services for quite some time. And that the certificate program has helped me in that role where I'm able to serve clients through a different lens. I'm able to talk with them, find out about their experiences, and be able to serve them differently. There were times when I've had clients that were very not happy with the government and it projected their behavior towards me. But by learning from the different courses and how their environment, their community, and the different systems affected their lifestyle, I was able to look past that anger and be able to serve them better. Like I was able to get to the bottom, the root cause of why they were meeting with me and be able to serve them. And it's quite it's quite fulfilling to be able to see someone's situation and not see that person being angry at you or being angry at the organization you're working for. So that was it is very helpful to me. And not only that, like one of the things I've learned is with regards to building capacity in the community. We had a client advisory group where we were able to meet with different clients in the communities, have them tell us about where there are gaps in our program, and send that up for modification to the policies to better serve them. I was very happy to lead that because I was able to bring what I've learned in this program to be able to help them to be able to gather the relevant information to send up to the decision makers, which was incredible. And I've changed ministries. I'm now with Ministry of Labor, Immigration Training and Skills Development, where I'm working on employment and training programs. And part of what I do is I meet with community agencies as well. And I'm able to provide a lot of information to them, gather information from them. I'm able to help them to build capacity by sharing how they can better serve their community and giving them the tools needed to do that too. And all through what I've learned and through the program, as well as my professional experience. And one of the big push now is building community capacity, and they call it here system stewardship, like finding different systems that connect and would be able to help the end users, which is the persons that are accessing the service. And this, I'm able to like tell my colleagues and my co-workers that I did this program, and this program has helped me to bring like useful information. I'm part of so many working groups that I'm able to share that information as well with them. And it's quite an experience. It is a lot of work, but the work produces results and you do see it and you do feel it because I do. It's helped me. It's continuing to help me. And one of the things I'm still in my career journey, this is not the end game. I'm always like, I love trying new things. And when I meet with directors that I network with, managers that I network with, I'm able to tell them, like just last week, I had a meeting because of a competition I'm going to be taking part in actually this week. I was telling we were talking about the competition that I'm going to be going through, and I mentioned because one of the things they mentioned is that they're looking for people with experience dealing with the community, and I was able to say not only do I have that experience, I have this program that I completed, and I started telling them, and they're like, and the manager was saying, every time I hear you talk, all I can think is a transferable experience, which is a really good thing. So it is worth it. It is worth it. And like I said, it's a lot of hard work, but it's going to pay off in the end. It is going to pay off. And um, and it's one of the things I did as well when I was going through the programs for the electives, I look for courses that applies to what I do. And I was able to find those courses like the leadership course that was really, really good. The project management course that was really good as well, because not only the job that I applied for is looking for leadership, it is looking for project management experience too. And I was able to tie that in and put it in my cover letter, in my application, cover letter and resume. And that's what got me an interview, which is a big plus for me because applying for these jobs, they look for your qualifications and your experience. And I was able to demonstrate that to them. Thank you.
I always love hearing that story from you, Roxanne, because it's so inspiring just to see it actually uh, impact someone's career and growth and experience so directly. So thank you for doing that and thank you for sharing. I love the tips that you shared about the courses and the interviews, how it helped. It's actually real outcomes that you talked about. So thanks for sharing that for all of our students or learners, potential learners that are attending. So with that, we'll end our presentation portion of the session. And now we will open the floor to everyone for Q&A. So please enter your questions by typing them into the question box of the control panel, and we'll try to get them answered for you. So I see we've got two questions that have come in already. So one is for someone who wants to build a career in community engagement but doesn't have extensive experience in the field, what would you recommend they focus on during the certificate? So yeah, Sheila, maybe you can start with that,
Sure.
and Roxanne, you can chime in after as well.
Well, the certificate program is structured in a way to start. The first course is the Community Engagement Foundations. So don't worry that you have to have or figure out having experience before you start the certificate, because the Foundations course will give you a really good grounding to start with. And then the other two initial core courses, engaging diverse communities and the practices course, also give you two different types of sets of practical skills, but also critical thinking skills around the practice. Because as Roxanne was talking about when she was saying it's a lot of work, partly why there's a lot of work is because you're doing both the systems analysis, critical thinking, as well as developing a set of practical tools for doing the work. So once you take the first couple of courses, it can become more clear to you the direction you want to take for your capstone project at the end. And as I say, there's an academic coordinator, as well as myself, who teaches the capstone course to assist in advising you if you need help setting your direction.
Brilliant. Um, Roxanne, anything that you had to add in there? I love the bit that you spoke about transferable skills earlier as well, but I think that's also something that anyone that doesn't have a background will benefit from. Go
Absolutely,
ahead.
absolutely, because they'll be able to say, I've done this course, and through this course, it's equipped me with XYZ. And that's what I've been able to do in my cover letter and add to my resume as well.
Brilliant. Sheila, maybe you can answer this next one. It's how often is the curriculum updated to reflect current community engagement practices, processes, everything
Mhm.
related to
Well,
that?
we do like major reviews every 5 years, but each instructor has access to their course modules, the course material, to update and make changes as we go along. For example, I taught the community engagement practices course for years as well, and I would regularly at least once a year, go and make sure that the readings were updated. And then when we did a minor review of the program, a minor development, I included a whole module to think through virtual engagement and use of social media because that had become such a huge issue. Well, in general, it has, but the pandemic really launched the whole issue around virtual engagement. So just to have a real good thinking and practice development opportunity around that. So that's just an example.
Love that. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. So what are some of the important skills and competencies the program develops that are necessary for success in the field?
I think Roxanne gave us some really good examples of some of those, and I'll give you some others. Um, so as I said, being able to do systems analysis, power dynamics, how institutions work, how organizations function, so that you can be able to apply the different techniques that you will learn about in community engagement and figure out which techniques are most appropriate for the environment, and which entire approaches fit best with the environment. And when you're able to actually push the environment a bit more, as Roxanne raised with community capacity building, is like a big part of. It's not just one topic. It's an approach that we delve into in most of the core courses, and not just capacity building to access services or to get a better job, but capacity building to provide leadership in communities and problem solve in a community-based way. So those are some examples.
Yeah, I think all those skills are hugely valuable and important in anything that you're doing, not just in this field, but others as well. So I know we probably can't answer this 100% accurately because the question is, do you know the average income of folks who have completed the certificate and are working in this sector? But I know we can't directly comment on that, but is there anything that you can say about people that we've completed the certificate or anything that you know about working in the sector? Maybe you can start, and then Roxanne can also chime into this one.
I think that there's going to be quite a range. It depends on the work people go into, or and like the sector they're focused on. But one thing I can say, I'm just thinking of a couple of people a couple of past students who were able to advance their careers. One got promoted. I can think one person got promoted to a managerial role specifically because of the certificate and the capstone project they did. So their income would have increased as well. And another person, her career path just opened wide. It just opened for her, and she just changed direction. She was coming, out of a undergraduate degree and doing this a certificate at the same time, and just really found a place, a different place for herself because of her learnings and experience in the program.
Yes, and while Sheila was talking, I was thinking of something that I saw today. So I see, but this is it was posted internally for caseworker positions, and they look for a lot of like working with the communities as well. And the salary scale is start at 1345.09 to 1615.77 per week. And that was one of the roles that I held. And one of the things I would advise you to do is when you're doing the four core courses, that's great. But when you're looking for the electives, look for courses that would give you transferable skills. So working like teamwork with community services. That's very big because as an ODSP case worker, they want you to be able to work with both the client and the service providers to better serve the client. So you're able to say, I've done this course and it's equipped me with XYZ, right? So that's one of the skills that they're looking for, and you're able to match that with it. So, and you just go through, like for me, when I look at my career journey within the OPS and where I wanted to go, I select courses that I'm able to incorporate into my application for various positions. So, and the salary, like Sheila was saying, it ranges from staff level to managerial. So the sky is the limit, I would say.
Really well said there, both of you. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that insight into that into those different levels that are possible and also the range. So the next question is about the capstone. How is the capstone evaluated? So Sheila, maybe you can
hmm
answer that
So
one.
there are two relationships you have when you're doing the capstone. There's the one relationship is with the project site where you're doing the experiential learning opportunity, and you have a project advisor there that you set up. And the other relationship you have is the academic relationship through the course instructor. So there may be depending on what you do with the organization. Like for example, when people develop the access for disability people with disabilities guide for recreation, the example I gave you. So they produced a guide, and that was for the host organization. But in terms on the academic side, you have three assignments throughout the course um, that you need to complete, and they're really designed to initially help you focus. Assignment one is a project overview and learning objectives. And what we do with those learning objectives is figure out what transferable skills are you interested in developing or building on in this course. So you can really think about not just what you're doing for the organization, but what you're doing for yourself professionally. And then there's a self-evaluation and a final report at the end about your the work that you did with the organization.
Sorry, I was on mute. I was just saying that, thank you for that answer. There's just so much that you can do with the capstone, right? You have a lot of flexibility and a lot of options and a lot of support for you to help with that. So, yeah, thank you for that question. Um, Next one is, would you recommend this certificate develop organizations with marginalized communities rather than just engage with them?
So I was looking at this question, and I'm trying to hone in on exactly what is what you are looking for there, and so you can let me know if I didn't get it right. So the certificate doesn't develop organizations, but but uses examples from real life organizations, case studies, videos, as I say, podcasts, for you to be able to explore during the course of your courses, different types of organizations and different approaches to engagement within them and with them. As well, there isn't just a simple idea that we're just going to go out and engage with marginalized people. There communities are complex and people are you may be accessing services as one organization, be supporting their kids in another organization. So it really depends where people are at. And you can tell from some of the examples I gave you, like for example, improving customer service through addressing anti-Black racism. So you can see there that's somebody who's in an organization and has done a really good systems analysis about a problem for Black people in the community in relation to that organization being able to get equitable access to service. So that's an example of how uh, looking at organizational change and organizational development as key to equitable community engagement. So I hope that that's helped with your question.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that with us, Sheila. Next question is, will I be able to design or lead my own community initiatives as part of the coursework? And yeah, maybe you can start with that, and Roxanne, you can chime in as well if you had any experience with that while doing your coursework.
So I would say for the courses in general, we welcome students to bring in their own knowledge, own experiences and their own efforts. So you can through the some of the discussion activities. I'm thinking because I taught it for a number of years, the community practices engagement practices course. It's a place where you can do that exploring. And then the capstone would be a great place for you to tie all together everything, what your passion is there, what skills you developed, what knowledge you have, what relationships you may have started to build, and you can do a capstone that focuses on that. So, as I said, I would be somebody. This is a great case study for folks. I would be somebody, the person who could help you sort out the best way to do that, to get that project launched, and what organization or person would be a good project advisor to support you with that.
Yes, and one of the things I wanted to say with the capstone project is that I chose to, instead of developing an initiative, I chose to provide information to a community agency because part of my job is dealing with, like I mentioned, employment and training. And I found this community agency that serves a lot of recent immigrants that are not familiar with a lot of the employment and training services that are offered in Ontario. So what I chose to do was provide them with that information, and I conducted a large information session so that I can educate the community, and it was well received. So one of the things you can do is find gaps within either your own organization that you're working for or find gaps within a community agency. It's up to you. Like if you've accessed an agency and they say, well, we don't know this or we can't provide you with that, then that is a gap, right? That you can identify and say, well, and you can approach ask to speak with their management because a lot of community agencies, they're very receptive to any change that they can make to better serve the community. So if you have knowledge and you know of a gap, you can work with that agency as part of the capstone project to do that. And as you go through the courses, you'll see that it's a build up. It's building capacity in you so that you can be prepared for the capstone project.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it sounds like you have that progression from each course that takes you to the capstone, and it all comes together there. So thank you both for sharing that. The next question, which is the last question that we have right now, is how would the students benefit from industry connections, seeing as it is an asynchronous certificate? So What I can share from my experiences with all the prospective students and events and what we do is there are virtual and in-person networking events that we host throughout the year. And if you join our social networks or just follow us on our website, you will be able to see information about the upcoming events. And in those events is a really good opportunity to gain network and industry connections, and you can join them and speak to our experts that are also in those sessions as well. But yeah, if there's anything else that Sheila or Roxanne you want to add, you can do that. Um, yeah, and then we'll move on to the last question. Okay, so the next question is there any trauma-informed practices taught or integrated into the certificate courses? I've worked with marginalized communities before, and I feel like it's essential.
Oh, that's a great question, and I'm glad it was asked because I was thinking that there was a key piece that I didn't get to discussing when I was giving the list of core courses. So I would say where that's most focused is in the engaging diverse communities course. So that course. Which was developed by our academic coordinator, Dr. Ajandi. That course is set up. I taught it a couple of times, so I remember it. So that each module focuses on a particular piece of systemic oppression, and for example, there's a whole module around harm reduction in which you watch a movie, you look at case studies, and really get into understanding what it is to uh, work with and support people who are and develop leadership of people who are socially marginalized because of partly because of substance use and the all the stigma around that that comes with that, and how poverty is integrated into that often. So that requires a trauma-informed approach to do that well. I can say from being the person who did the design the community engagement practices, and because I have my own expertise around trauma-informed practice, that that was really that becomes part of the thinking through of how to plan a community engagement project and how to host events, etc. And just basically, like Roxanne said at the very beginning, just how you're relating to people who who are having a hard time is really is it's not simple like it sounds. Generally, it can be complicated for people to learn, but that having that trauma-informed approach to it is really a key part of what we do.
Sorry, Masrur, but I wanted to build on what Sheila said. I'm
Go
just
for it.
inspired with this. So I wanted to give you a lived experience. When I was doing intake, there was this one individual that was just mean, like really, really hard. And the communication was via phone. And I said, you know what? There's something going on with this person because I remember that course clearly. And I said, there's something more to what's going on with this individual. So what I did, I asked them to come for an in-person interview. And based on what they told me, just blew me away. And I was able to provide support to them. And their attitude towards me and towards what I do changed completely because this course equips you with that knowledge to be able to look past the anger and see the individual and bring out the root cause of what's going on with them.
Thank you for chiming in on that, Roxanne, because those examples are so important for our learners and prospects to hear. I have one last poll for everyone before we close up today. But I just wanted to take this moment to thank you to our presenters and our guest speakers to take the time out of your day. We know how busy you are, so thank you for doing this for all of our learners. If you're interested in learning more about the certificate presented, please visit our website at continuing.torontomu.ca. And if you have any other questions, you can contact me directly at mash.chaudhry@torontomu.ca. All of the information that we've shared will be sent to you in a follow-up email with a recording of this session within the next 24 to 48 hours. And on behalf of the Chang School and all of our speakers and presenters, thank you for joining us today and have a great rest of the day.